Serious. Campers of Reddit. What is the scariest, creepiest, most disturbing thing that has happened to you in the woods? Went camping in Jenny Springs in Florida about 10 years ago, and sometime at night I heard that sound you hear in movies. TV of a huge tree falling. Didn't think anything of it. About 10 minutes later I started hearing lots of people talking outside my tent, so I got out and discovered the tree fell on someone's tent kind of close by and killed them. A helicopter had to come and airlift them out. Safari guide here. Woke up one morning with something very warm, rather soft and comfy on my back. Realized my back was against the canvas of the tent. Realized it was an animal. It was a really cold winter night. Temperatures dropped close to zero here in the low vault. WTF. As I moved a bit, I heard the voice from my buddy. From his tent. He spoke a bit hushed, and with a definite tremble in his voice. "The Africa bug, are you awake?" Stupid me replied with a strong voice. "Yes." The animal next to me got up, and, luckily, ran away. It was a big male lion. Camping alone in a bit of secluded bushland. Lots of sticks and leaflitter so can hear critters and people moving easily. Hearing a plopping noise during the night, but no other noises. To wake up to see a decapitated kangaroo's head next to the tent, that obviously wasn't there when I put the tent up. No explanation. Got the F out of there. It was 2 AM, pitch dark. Low fire. We heard rustling in the woods. Flashlights pan out. All of a sudden a mole comes running towards us and into the fire. We could hear it sizzling while we all were screaming. The next day the charred body was buried with an proper funeral. I had a nasty thunderstorm that spawned a tornado roar over me one night. The tornado cut a path a couple of kilometers away. At one point the lightning was almost continuous. No choice but ride it out. My time in the army meant I spent a ton of time in the woods of upstate New York. I remember many of nights waking up to things reaching into my pockets, pulling things from my kit. Body armor. I'd wake up to a raccoon pillaging my things, literally unzipping pouches and such. I still swear to this day they were organized, rallied behind this giant raccoon duckstick who would sit outside and keep guard and coordinate them. Saw a mountain lion looking at me from about 100 feet away while pooping. Good thing I had a gun with me just in case, but it was at my most vulnerable moment. Also it really helped me take a crap faster. 25 years ago or so. Saw eyes in the darkness of the trees when shining a flashlight out. Seemed kinda high up. They were red reflecting. Also was having sticks and rocks occasionally thrown into our camp. Nothing big and it was directed at the fire. Eventually it stopped, and we went to bed. There was 4 of us. I'm a light sleeper, and so is my dad. We both woke up to footsteps and a really bad stink about 5 AM. My dad shook the side of the tent, and yelled, "Get the duck out of here," whatever it was, it ran off. Cowlitz country wah. My dog absolutely lost it on an ice hike. Like, she was scared for her life, and would have ran out into the woods had she not been on a leash. Lucky that she didn't pull me over and run away anyway. My mom and I are pretty sure there must have been a mountain lion stalking us. And the dog could smell it. Scary as duck. Because we didn't see anything. And if it had been one of us alone, who knows what would have happened. I've never had that experience. Back in the 50s, my dad worked for the Soil Conservation Corps, and he said he came across a still when he was deep in the woods. That was very scary, because moonshiners had a reputation for killing government agents. He departed the area hastily. This isn't really that bad, but here it goes. Girlfriend and I were doing an overpass hike on the North Country Trail, and after hiking some amount of miles, we decided to hang our hammocks and rest. We were hanging about 30 feet off of the trail just snoozing a little, when I heard a little noise. I sat up in the hammock a bit, and saw that there was a coyote about 10 feet away. We locked eyes, and it took off. About the same time, something that sounded a bit bigger took off from the other side of us. We packed up our hammocks and kept going. About 5 minutes down the trail, we came up on a black bear cub, and scared it by accident, and it took off. I once had to pee, and a rogue cow that was roaming the woods stared at me dead in the eyes while I was squatting. Was pretty disturbing, and I'm pretty sure it went and told all of its cow friends. I was sleeping in the woods, and I woke up in a random house. It turned out to be a family friend's house, and my parents took me there around midnight. Dawn. Noises outside. Hear a tent rip. About to investigate. Someone starts screaming as I'm about to exit my tent. Grab my walking stick. Get out to see bear pulling backpack out of a tent. Everyone is up now getting outside. I yell hey as loud as I can. Bear looks at me. I start running at him. Bear half stands up, kind of does a double take, then cowers into the bushes. From that point on my friends called me Alpha Bear. These days it's just Bear. I think this fits. I was roaming in my camper. I was in Daytona for the big race. One night I was walking my Pomeranian without a flashlight. There were very few lights, but I could discern where the road was. At one point we stopped, and I could see a pale, silent shape that was low to the ground. I couldn't see any definitive shape. It made no sound and my dog didn't seem to notice it. I just slowly moved us away to another part of the park. It was creepy. It wasn't scary, but it was weird as hell. My brother roommate and I went camping out of the blue and got woken up in the middle of the night by some guy high off his ass banging around screaming. They woke me up and we listened as he approached our tent. So my brother cocked his pistol and said we are sleeping, go away. A few minutes later the cops come and tell him to drop the pole he had, and all we hear is tasers and him drop to the ground and all that fun stuff. We had a good chuckle about it the next morning. We had a guy slip in and join our backpacking trip. We went to sleep, woke up the next day, and he was there in our campsite in his tent. He was friendly, but it was still odd. When we went to sleep it was like 10 PM and storming, so I'm not sure how he got there and set up a tent. Think this counts. Camping and disturbing. For young girls. In the early 90s. Went camping with my Girl Scout troop. Turns out the Grateful Dead were playing nearby, and we ended up camping with a bunch of deadheads. We all shared a common bathroom. We were exposed to lots of new things that weekend.